Peace, peace, magical ones. Will your day as well. It's your girl Sanserae of Yaels Moon.com and L9shop.com coming back at you with another little video share. And today's a little different. First, I've got my face on cam to say blessings to the fam for the very first time. And I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I'm not going to be doing a spell or sharing a way to make anything with the family. This video is all about protection. And it's fitting because for the past week or so, I've seen a lot of things on social media about protecting yourself when you are doing your spell work or your spiritual magical work. And I've also seen some videos about it. And I've also been asked some questions lately about whether or not it's necessary to protect yourself and how you go about doing so. So I'm going to address those things really quickly. Of course, this is from my perspective and my experience and my truth. So because each and every one of us are different, there are going to be many different perspectives about protection and about protecting yourself while doing magic. So first of all, let me say absolutely you want to protect yourself. But you don't just want to protect yourself from magic, you want to protect yourself at all times. Because whether or not you're doing magic, which you're actually doing all day, every day, there's always energies around us. There's energies around us at all time. We are energy. So it's always good to make a practice or a ritual out of protection, the same way that you would for money or love, or giving offerings and prayers to your ancestors, or doing your spiritual practices, whatever the case may be. So because it's always good to protect yourself, and because as with any of these things there are different levels, there's different levels of protection. So simple basic protection is completely different than some higher level, defense against the dark arts. So because there are different levels to this, especially for those of you that are beginners to the craft or beginners to any type of spiritual practice or disciplines or anything like that that you're doing that have some sort of magical association to them, unless you have some things going on, some attachments, some karmic things going on, you don't need to have, and from my perspective, some sort of super high level of protection when you just start out. And that's because the true sorcerers, the true musicians, the true wizards are not going to be worried about you doing a little money spell if you're a beginner. And that's just the way it is. Now, obviously, when you start to work with witchcraft, you are beginning to work with some very strong and powerful energies. And when you do so, you really do open yourself up to these energies. But like attracts like. So, we go back to the things that are the most important, which is your mindset, your intention, your focus, and where you're coming at, from the heart. So, when we get into protection, there's a lot of different things that are involved with the whole concept of protecting yourself. But what I saw that I didn't like, what I saw that was a necessity for me to make this video, and so much so to put my face on for the first time, was the fear-mongering that I saw, the scare tactics. People are making posts or doing blogs or doing videos about all these crazy things that they have happening to them when they do magic, and these these not so great energies that are coming into their lives. Well, once again, like attracts like. That's not always the case. As a matter of fact, extreme cases are, I don't want to say that they're not common, because they very much are. And now that we are in this information age and people are starting to become less conservative about the things that they're experiencing and the way that they share them, we do hear more and more things. But once again, those are attachments. Those are karmic things that go on. And when you really get into it, if you have those things going on with you, then I strongly recommend that you find a professional, a spiritual professional who is able to deal with those things, who's able to do cleansings, who's able to do cord cuttings, who's able to do attachment removals and things like that for you. I mean, that's just some deep stuff. And I went ahead and I left some information along with some links in the description for the video if that is your particular issue with protection. That way you will have some guidance, some place to go to look for help in that area. But if that is not the case with you and you're a beginner, as I stated, then the protection can be really a simple thing. You just need to understand what the protection is for, and you need to be aware during your protection practices. So an easy way to protect yourself from my perspective, and one way that you can get into a ritual or habit, is to do a cleansing or protection bath. Now you can do this prior to your rituals, your workings, your spiritual magic work. You can do this prior to leaving the house every day. You know, it's totally up to you and how you feel. You can do this if you feel like something is trying to come at you, or someone is sending some energy your way and you just want to protect yourself. And that can be very simple as well, the bath, or it can be very elaborate. And it all depends on you. It all depends on how you feel, what you want to do, and what resonates with you, and what you like. You know, so a protection bath can be just as simple as some sea salt or some Epsom salt, which helps to absorb negative energies. You could throw a clove of garlic or some ginger root into the bath if you choose to do so. You can throw in some protecting herbs or essential oils, like juniper berry is good for protection, as well as sage is good for protection, basil. So there's just all these different wonderful, natural, magical things that you can use to protect yourself. Or you can use nothing. You can simply use the power of your mind, and you can protect yourself by envisioning a beautiful circle of protective white light around you. You know, make it sort of like a dome shape, a circle that encompasses you and stands out a little bit far from your body to make sure that it's blocking the things that you don't want in. Envision yourself in that light. Feel the warmth of it. See the light in your mind's eye, and know that it's your protection. You know, if you want to get a little, get a little fiery, then envision the same ring of fire. I like to sometimes actually see it pop up, little sparks of it pop up all around me and just sort of consume into this, ring of fire, sort of like you see in the movie The Lord of the Rings with the Eye of Saruman. So there are various ways that you can do it. You can protect yourself with your finger. Envision your finger pointing out a protective light and just draw a circle all the way around yourself, or you can walk it and know and say, this is my circle of protection. Let it keep any unwanted energies away. I will it so mote it be, and it harm none by the law of three. You could say something like that. So there are various ways to protect yourself. Not all of it has to be, spook boo, and you got to get all of these different doodads and things like that. But as you practice more, as you increase your magic more, as you increase your tools more, then you can incorporate any of those things that you want to in your protection practices. So the only other thing that I really wanted to speak about, and I think this is another really important thing, and I think that a lot of the things that I read and that I saw dealing with protection sort of left it out. So I'm going to go ahead and touch on it. Most of the times when someone asks about protecting themselves, they do want to protect themselves, but they also want to know what they can do if someone is sending them negative energy or unwanted energy. And what I mean by that is sort of retribution. You know, if I know someone is sending me bad, what can I do? Or you might be in the mindset of, if I know someone is sending me bad, then they're going to get bad back, which is absolutely true. So we have to once again go back to understanding the fact that energy is neither good nor bad. Energy is neutral. And there's energies around us at all times. We are energy. We have an aura. We have our chakras. You know, we are energy ourselves. And whether you want to or not, because these various energies are around us at all times, whether you want to or not, you can pick up some of that within your aura and carry it with you. And then it stays with you. And it's not necessarily your energy, but it kind of gets stuck on you, you know, like some dirt or something on your shoe. And it has to be washed off or cleansed off. And that's why I brought up the bath. But when we understand that energy is neither good nor bad, it's neutral, and what makes it either one is how you choose to use and direct the energy. So if you send out good, you're going to get good back. If you send out bad, you're going to get bad back. But at the same time, you're also opening yourself up to these energies. So if you send out bad, not only are you going to get bad back, but you're actually opening up more bad to come in. So in essence, you're making up your karma as you go. So I always suggest and recommend that whenever you do your magic or your spiritual practices, you always make sure that you center yourself and you come from a place of peace and love and humility and gratitude. And when you do that, then that's what you're sending out, and that's what you're going to get in return. But it has to be true. And what I think some people are finding is that they think they're going in with this love and light, and then when they do a working or they do a ritual or something, that's not what they're getting. And that's because that's not really where you're coming from. But my whole thing with that is, why are you fearful of what you're creating? That's like making dinner and being scared to eat it. That's like being scared of your children. You know, we have to start to understand that not everything is light. There's some dark. There is dark. There's dark within us. There's dark within others. And there's dark within the universe. If you look at the sky, it's dark. You know, at night, you can see some stars in there, yeah. But they're chilling in the massive darkness. You know, they're chilling in that dark void of infinite possibilities. And that's what you're going into when you connect with these energies, when you do magic in spiritual practices as well. So what I think is very important is that we understand that fear, you know, has no place. Now, that doesn't mean that there are not, you know, things out there. But once again, they wouldn't have something called Defense Against the Dark Arts if there weren't people performing the dark arts, you know. Once again, there's levels to this. So you have to know who you are and where you're at. So if you're a beginner, this may help you. If you're, you know, an intermediate, you may be like, I know this. And if you're advanced, you may have just shut me off like 5 minutes ago. But for those that need it, you're still here, and, you know, we have to move through this. And I want to bring up something that really resonated with me, and this was about 5 or 6 years ago. I had heard one of Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson of Typro.com. I've heard one of his on-demand or videos or episodes or something. I think it might have been on the radio. I don't remember. But he was talking about having an encounter with a being. And if you're not familiar with this master teacher, I suggest you definitely check out his work. Once again, Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson, Tyro.com. But he was speaking on it, and he was talking about fear. And he was talking about his encounter with a being. And he said that, you know, to look upon this being from our perspective here, you know, and humans and earth and everything, we would have thought the being was hideous, for lack of a better word, I believe he used. And he then went on to discuss how, because we are so fearful of things that don't look like us, things we don't understand, that we make assumptions and we become fearful of these things. And he went on to discuss how some of the most enlightened, highly evolved, loving beings in this universe we would think are hideous and ugly. But that's not the case. That's not their true nature. So when we talk about things like fear and you put that into the equation, then you see something or you hear something or you have an encounter that is not familiar to you, you may try to withdraw. And then you will never know if you encountered, you know, this loving, highly evolved being. And my feeling is always, as a sentient, clairsentient, you're going to know if what you're dealing with is not right. You should know it. You should, if you get a powerful, unwanted energy that comes into your presence, you more than likely will have a physical reaction of some sort. Now, not everybody is, you know, can consider themselves like an empath, or not everybody's psychic. You know, we all have our different abilities. But based on my study and research and understanding, you know. So, you know. And then, so then I'm like, once again, what is the fearful of? People are sharing personal stories. This whole spiritual journey, this whole path, this whole physical life that we're in is specific to you. You cannot take someone's experience and think that that's what you're going to get. You know, and that's what I saw with these scare tactics and these fears and everything like that. So that's already, like, they're already, you know, planting a seed. And then you've got people who really want to start working their magic, people who really want to start doing these things, and now they've got this fearful seed planted. And I just don't think that's the way to start out, you know, with anything. Yeah, you're going to be out of your comfort zone because it's something new. But guess what? That's how you grow. That's how the soul grows, you know. But you can't come from a place of fear. So quit being scared of yourself, you know, because that's really what it is. You know, the energy's not good or bad. It just is. So all of it rests within us. All of it resides within us. It's how we use and direct it that determines the good or bad. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about protection, give it to you from my perspective. Give it to you from quit being a scared of you perspective. They've done that to us this whole time, you know. It still blows my mind a little bit. People get out of religion and they say, oh, it was just fear-mongering and, you know, and lies, you know. Then they get in the conscious community and they get in the conscious community and they think that there's these rules too, and if you don't, gotta be right on point or you're not conscious, you know. Once again, that's fear. That's fear. So you went from one aspect of fear and religion to another aspect that comes in consciousness and conscious awareness in the conscious community, and then you want to get into magic and spiritual practices and you're scared again. When does it end? When do we stop being scared of who and what we are and embrace it? Embrace it. If you're dark, you're dark. So what? Be dark. Charge it. If you're light, you're light. Be light. Charge it. You know? If you're both, you're both, and that's balance. So, if you'd like to know more about me and what I do, you can check me out on Facebook by name. You can also check out the Magick group, Magical Scents and Hints on Facebook. Shout out to the fam, blessed be. You can also check out our website, l9shop.com and yaelsmoon.com, for all your metaphysical, spiritual supplies that you need, and healing items as well, handcrafted by me, yaelsmoon.com, enchantments and various things like that. And be sure to like and subscribe if you like it and you want to continue staying up on what we are doing. And until next time, family, peace and love and magical blessings.